Hello everybody. In this video I wanted to go over the current color scheme that I got going for my Rock Island Armory 1911 pistol, the one that takes the double stack magazines. But to kind of, before I get too far ahead of myself, and within a few days to about a week ago at most, I I did a text post in the a post in the text image post section of the channel, kind of talking about updates and or upgrades I done to the pistol that I got done to the pistol in the time since my last video on the pistol. Now I do want to apologize in right now if I could caused any confusion with the way I worded it and everything, which is another reason why I want to go ahead and do this video, to not only share with everybody the how I got it set up currently, but to kind of clear up maybe any confusion that there might be. Now, for a little bit of background and context, typically when you buy a Rock Island Armory, your common Rock Island Rock Island Armory 1911 pistols will come in a what parkerized finish or coating, and most of the time with that type of coating, it'll give a matte gray or matte blackish coloring, but the coating itself has more of a texturous feel to it, and it can be very porous as well and everything. So after the first couple years of just having it as it was, I got to where I wanted a more or less a newer, somewhat fancier look. So I went through the process of, and at that time I just mainly wanted the frame and slide done. So I went for a somewhat polished, but yet battle worn and distressed type of look. And I just had it done where it was just a slide in the frame done at that point in time, which that was done at least a couple years ago when I had that done and all. And nonetheless, it got to where I'm like, here recently, I was like, okay, let's see what we can do about. Well, thinking to myself, I had the thought of, well, let's see what we can do about taking it a step further to where it kind of stands apart, and maybe the colors I chose, the color I chose to hopefully complement the pistol as it was currently, and any potential future color scheme as well. So what I ended up, so I decided to go for like a gold color on the small parts. So what I did was I stripped the weapon completely down to where I could get the grip safety, the hammer, the thumb safety, the of course the takedown pin, slide catch, pretty much all the small parts that would be associated, that as you can tell, anyway, I stripped down the weapon and I got where I could get all these smaller parts separated from the rest of the pistol and other parts, and got the parts that I did not want painted, taped off, and then was able to go through the process of having the parts or the areas I wanted painted to be painted and everything. Even done like the exterior part, outside part, that the parts that would be exposed on the outside. That way I wouldn't have any interference on the internal section. But like I said, it has more of a on some parts of the hammer, as you can tell right here. Some of the paint kind of flaked off because I guess because it didn't sit very well on some sections. But it kind of gives that more battle worn, distressed look I was going for to kind of match. But yeah, I just wanted to share with y'all the how my 1911 pistol is currently with the cutter scheme. But it was all done at separate times, which, as I said earlier, I apologize for any confusion. I know typically when people do their any sort of paint job or have a paint job done on their weapon, it's typically done all in one go. But in my particular case, it was all done up at separate times. And when I did that post, I was mainly referring to what I recently got done, which was the small parts that's painted gold, and of course, it the parts that wasn't I didn't want painted was taped off and everything. But yeah, wanted to share that with y'all, and thank y'all for watching. Have a good day.